And good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to a afternoon of ZX Spectrum Mayhem, the original Elite. Are you all well? Are you all well? It's good to see you all. It's good to see you. Thank you very much for popping along for our ongoing voyages to boldly go where plenty of people have gone before, but with the aim to hopefully capture some of the classic missions on the original Elite ZX Spectrum. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Our tape loading error, says Commander Sinclair. Hello, good you, Commander Kelvinator, Commander Ariok. Commander Ariok, I'm glad you're here because you are blazing a bit of a trail. So I see on the Frontier forums, you've triggered the missions already. So I'm in great envy of you. So I'm hoping I will be able to catch you up live on the stream. So I have been reading your thread. Thank you very much. So it seems, my friends, we may be close to triggering the supernova mission, which is a possibility that we'll experience there. We'll see how it goes, but we've definitely got 3 missions. All my research indicates that there are at least 3 missions on the spectrum. They are supernova, the cloaking asp, which sort of is the kind of equivalent to the Constrictor mission on the BBC, and then something to do with the Thargoid. So that's going to be interesting to see if we get there. Now, at the end of my stream last week, I did trigger. I didn't see it actually because I was getting too busy being killed by the Thargoids. I didn't see the right on commander, but I did watch the stream afterwards, and you were all quite correct. I got the right on commander, but unfortunately I died. And I think I'm about maybe 16. The latest save I've got is about 16 or 20 kills away from the right on commander. So hopefully we'll see that today. So that would be a better clip because I want to survive. Okay. So we're hopefully not too far away. So anyway, let's fire it up. Where's the latest one? That looks like it there. Let's just check where we are. No, that's not it. Let me get the right one because we were. What's the date? What was the date? It was the 9th, wasn't it? So it must be about there. There we go. We are in the Tianve system, right? So let's get the game up on screen. There we go. Save often, says Commander Kelvinator. Yes, absolutely right. Hopefully we'll do this. Now I was ramping up the kill rating by going back and forth between Anley and Tianve to get my my commander count up. But now we know we're near the right on commander, then it's probably safe for us to do a bit of trading, get enough cash to buy us the galactic hyperspace. But we haven't got enough money at the moment. I've just realised. Click on the screen. There we go. How much have we actually got? Nope, not that button. No, not that button. There we go. We got 9,000 credits actually, which is enough. So we can buy the galactic hyperspace. We can make the jump. So that's good. Yeah. So Commander Sinclair, the green screen has been repaired. I have found a new piece of string, and it is now assembled once more. So fingers crossed, it's going to hold together. If we get shot from behind and our rear shields fail, then maybe they're a problem. Is there a blow up a station? Yes, there's something to do. Commander Ariok, I believe you've experienced the 2 out of the 3 missions. So the first one I think is the supernova, the second one is the cloaking asp, and the third one I believe is a Thargoid, some kind of Thargoid attack on the space station, and you have to destroy the space station, or at least attack the space station. But I've never. It's only rumours. This is one of the reasons for this stream, is right. Is to record this for posterity, because I think there's 3 missions on the spectrum. And I think those are the 3. So blowing up the station. So that's what I'm attempting to do. Now we haven't triggered any of the missions, but we have got this far. We are now way up in the top right corner of Galactic Chart 1, and I don't think any of the missions trigger in Galactic Chart 1. Galactic Chart 1 kind of is the training level, if that makes sense, for Elite. So you need to get into the other charts before the other missions will trigger. So basically, things don't ramp up again until you get at least out of Galactic Chart 1. So we have to do that. So I'm suggesting let's do this. Leave Galactic Chart 1 behind. Let's go buy our Galactic Hyperspace, which is 12. There we go. We have bought it. And I think I'm right. In order to trigger the mission, we need to get into Galactic Chart 2. We need to have enough money then to go buy a Galactic Hyperspace again, and then at some point during that play through thereon, given that we're competent, we should trigger the mission. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. And sometime in the next few minutes, we will also see whether or not we've got, we get the right on commander. So that's basically the plan for today. And just in case we need it, I do have the synth. It's here. Oh, it's playing. It's playing. It's definitely not playing the 80s music. That sounds like a piano. Let's let's go and get the, what was that called? Synth lead, wasn't it? It was very 80s. There we go, that one. There we go. So there, with a bit of 80s, we can do that. So we've got the. So anyway, it's ready, okay, for whatever takes us. Now, I don't know whether to be amused or offended, actually, that my previous video hasn't been struck for copyright infringement at all. So either they let me off, or my playing was so bad that their automated routine didn't recognise it at all. Which I think is probably the latter. Which means you can get around copyright by just playing songs really, really badly. Okay. So anyway, there we go. Right, now I believe to trigger the Galactic Hyperspace, we just need to press G and H together, and it will drop us into Galaxy 2. So that's what I'm going to try and do now. And here we go. We're off. Right, let's take our Cobra Mark III into a new galaxy. Now I actually did check on the manuals on this, and it does say in the flight manual that we are going to a different galaxy, which is a small interesting point for Elite. Although they're called charts in here, Galactic Chart 1, in the manual they're actually referred to as galaxies. Yes, Axel F, you recognised it. And it sort of goes. More of that later. Right, so, let's do the Galactic Hyperspace. Yes. Well, there we go. Galactic Hyperspace. Bum 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 bum. I should have shot the spacer before jumping. Too late. I'm gone. It's exactly the same special effect, as you can see. That cost me 5,000 credits to do that, and we are now in a brand new galaxy. But we end up in the same sort of XY location as we are now. We've ended up in a system called BBG, which is rich, industrial, and population 2.6 billion lizards. Tech level's only 6 though. So what's the prices here? So we kind of need to. Not brilliant. They're okay. So let's sort of have a look around. What have we got? So I have no idea. I've never rich agricultural. There we go. That probably means that's going to be a decent place for us to get some computers and do some trading. So it might be worth us doing some trading, because we've got to get back up to the enough money to be able to buy another Galactic Hyperspace. Drew's alias is Harold Voltermeyer. Yes, everyone remembers that kind of. Oh, I'm under attack. That's a nice warm welcome to Galactic Chart 2, isn't it? Someone's attacking us already. Oh, it's an asp. That's always nice. Right, that's the end of you. Right, there's another one there. So it's obviously not a very nice system here. So I thought some noob from Galactic Chart 1 has arrived. We'll get him. Right, so keep an eye out for the right on commander, because it won't be very far away. I do want to capture that, because that's a bit iconic, isn't it? There we go. I don't think we're carrying any cargo, so no, we're not. So let's go and pick up whatever that is. Oh, there's an asteroid or something else. Food. Oh, boring. Oh well. Now is that rotating? It's really difficult to tell, isn't it? I think that isn't. I think that's... No, that's an anaconda. Okay, see, it's not rotating, so we don't want to shoot that. I'm going to try and stay clean for a little bit. Until we find our bearings, because I'm kind of keen to make sure I trigger the mission. Let's just pick up one bit of alloys, since they're here. Why not? Because I want to head for the space station first. Let's do that. So anyway, how are you all? Are you all good? I'm feeling a tiny little bit under the weather today. I've got something that's making me feel a little bit dizzy, so if I conk out and fall asleep in front of you, that'll be why. So apologies for that in advance, but I'm a tiny little bit. I'm okay, and it wasn't anything. Alas, it wasn't anything I was doing the night before. Just woke up this morning not feeling 100%. So, but I'm okay. I'm okay. We'll be good. We'll be good. So I've just got to get that anaconda or whatever it is out of range. Now there was a little bit of debate as to whether or not anacondas actually were in the game or not. Now they look very like asteroids, and there's certainly rock hermits in the game which seem to be like asteroids, but then they launch sidewinds at you. But I've definitely had some of those ships when you shoot them fly around. Oh, my lighting on my green screen is off at the corner. Oh, it is, isn't it? Oh, that's probably because I haven't quite set it up properly. Let me just have a quick... While that's flying, let me have a quick play then. Sorry about that. There we are. It's probably haven't quite optimised the settings back. That's not right. Other way. It's quite tricky to get this right, actually. I may need to... My lighting seems to be... Meh. Oh, there's a little bit of me disappearing there. Not quite sure what's... Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to have to play with that a little bit more. Something's not quite right. Never mind. That's slightly bit. Are they anacondas? I'm not entirely sure. I'm not entirely sure. Let's have a look at the ship identification chart at some point and see if we can identify it. Right, anyway, let's head for the station. Oh, there's more pirates. Okay, so stay tuned for that right on Commander, because it isn't very far away. Now, Commander Ariok, I mean, you might want to just mention in the chat roughly what you think the trigger conditions for the Supernova mission are, because I'm pretty sure they are Galactic Chart 2, which is where we are. I'm not going to pick up the escape pod just for the moment. Galactic Chart 2, a competent status, and having a Galactic Hyperdrive fitted again, if that makes sense. So we've used one, we need to have another one ready, because I think, and Commander Ariok will be able to tell me, I think you need the Galactic Hyperspace Drive to get out of Dodge as part of the mission. So it's sort of it won't trigger until you've got it, to make sure you can complete them. It's chucking a lot of asps at me now, which is interesting. I'll just trigger that ECM just in case there. I know what these guys like. Now here's another little technique, is when you've had a fight, don't thrust forward using the Taurus drive until your shields are back up, because you can get ahead of yourself sometimes, and put yourself in a combat situation when your ship's not ready again. Good morning, Drew, says the bear. Is this the first elite, and was Raxler also in its own way? This is the first elite. Pretty sure Raxler isn't in the game on this one, because the code is so small there's nowhere for it to hide. So Elite Dangerous is arguably the only game where Raxler will actually exist as a thing for us to go and visit. That's just a trader. Now, with a bit of luck, we might be able to trigger. Oh, almost. There's a little kind of bugette here, in the sense that you can trigger getting into the S space for the docking computers a little bit early. Right, which is what I did. Right, so let's just sell little bit of debris that we picked up. That's good. Right, so let's buy a bunch of computers here. We're going to buy 13 tons anyway. That means 22 tons of machinery, doesn't it? That fills our cargo hold up. We're going to go to Siort. I'm going to refuel just a tiny bit. I'm going to save the game. I've remembered. Quick save. There we go. And then we're going to launch. Oh, nope. Yeah. What happened there? We're going to launch. There we go. Right. So is Elite Dangerous an elite game? But, well, so we believe. So from my stream last night, we were talking about Raxler. Not last night. Thursday, wasn't it? We were talking about Raxler and whether or not it exists in the elite, and we really only got David Braben and Michael Brooks' word for that, because you know, and other than what's in the codex, because we don't know. Nobody's ever found much in the way of clues to it. Right, let's hope this is an asteroid. It was. Okay, so are we still in the fender or not? Have we got out of being in the fender? Where's the status screen? It's L, isn't it? There we go. We're clean at the moment, which is good. Okay, that's a Python. So we're gonna let's be good guys for a little bit. Well, let's Python go past on the right hand side, left hand side. That's it. There we go. Ooh, Python. Full speed. There we go. So yeah, Raxler is a mystery. Starts out with this version of Elite, but is not in the game for that kind of thing. So yeah, so I'm kind of interested in triggering this mission. I am. Lulling them into a false sense of security. Yes, I've probably gone the rampage again. Well, the rampaging was fun, plus it's also a faster way to play the game, because you know you can just get places further. The problem with the traders is they take quite a while to get past your scanner, which is a bit irritating when you're en route to the planet. So what's this ship here? Is that a Cobra? I think it's a Cobra. No, it's not. It's another. No, it's not. That is another Python, isn't it? There we go. It's obviously Python Day today. Pythons are very popular in the Spectrum version. So yeah, it was quite a cool looking ship. In the Elite manual, actually, the original Elite manual, the Python was a big freighter. Basically, it wasn't very fast. It wasn't the sort of mean heavy duty ship that it is in Elite Dangerous today. Much more, you know, it was a bit of a sitting duck really. Had very strong shields for its size, but a bit of a sitting duck in terms of firepower. But it could haul a lot of cargo, which is why it existed. Oh, come on. Another ship. This is the problem with this. Obviously, it's just RNGing these ships into existence for us. But what's that this time? What have we got over there? That is that's a Fer-de-Lance, I think. Yep, a bit faster. When you're bad, they attack you. They're bounty hunter ships. That will hopefully drop off the scanner quite fast. This is the annoying thing, is it can sometimes take you a long time to get anywhere because of all the friendly ships, which is why being a pirate sometimes is more fun. We just have to wait for that dot to disappear before we can engage the jump drive. There it is. Oh, it's just spawned another Cobra in front of us. The other thing you can do now, this is very unethical as well, is once your ship is as strong as ours is, you can ram the other ships out of existence. So I'll show you that, just because it's a thing that we did. So we're closing on this poor Cobra at point blank range, right? It will try and get out of its way, but it won't be able to. Oh, I missed it. My piloting skills are rubbish. So it took evasive action there to get out of the way. I tried playing the original Elite numerous times, but I just can't get out of lay if the game crashes on the BBM load as soon as it hits. You may find that's due to the version that you're playing. You have to select, I think I'm right in saying, that the one that, if this is the one you've downloaded from Frontier, you have to switch the mode of the emulator to the, I think the 128K version of the Beeb for the game to work properly. It doesn't work in the standard BBC model emulation for some reason. It does crash. I noticed that myself. But I'm going to try that again with this Cobra. Now this is morally dodgy because you are effectively murdering the person, but you don't get turned into an offender. By ramming other ships. So ramming in Elite is a punishmentless crime. So I'm going to try and ram him. There we go. And it only takes out my forward shield and first energy bank for some reason. So this was a tactic to get rid of the other ships in your path when you didn't want to muck up your offender rating, which is a bit dodge. But hey, we all found these little exploits in the game. Okay, so I'm going to try and do that again, whatever this ship is. This looks to be a third lance. I might not be able to hit this one because it will take evasive action. There we go. So there's little things like that actually have just come back to me as I'm playing the game. So there we go, 22 tons of that. That's given us a bit of money. It's not a great trade route actually. That's not particularly brilliant. So let's see if we can find a better one. We are in a what plant system? A rich agricultural system here, so we should be able to get cheap liquor and wines, which we have. So let's get some of them. 33. And we kind of want to go to somewhere which is rich industrial. Now that's better. Okay, right. So let's go there. We'll save the game. Yep, I remember. Quick save. There we go. Let's onwards we go. Yeah, so looks like you need the Galactic Hyperdrive as the Constrictor jumps after you've been given the mission. Okay, so the Constrictor doesn't exist on the Spectrum version. It's replaced with an Asp, possibly because of memory reasons. They couldn't put another ship in. So that's why the Asp. It's an Asp in the. But I think on the BBC version, the Constrictor is just a really tough ship. It doesn't give you a cloaking device, does it? It only gives you. You just basically get some kudos for killing the Constrictor. Is that right? Does anybody know on the BBC version? Yeah, that's an asteroid. There's a Cobra. We'll let it go this time. It's only if it's directly ahead. Oh, hang on a minute. I've got some spammers in the chat. How do I spam them? How do I ban them? This is a question. I haven't had to do this before. Yeah, it's annoying, isn't it? Oh, that's just annoying. Right, so hang on. Someone tell me. How do I block them? There doesn't seem to be anything on my interface here. I can add a friend. Timeout. Mod. Ban. There we go. Found it. Oh dear. It's annoying, isn't it? There we go. Right. I've got an interface. Fortunately, I can just click on. So there we go. All I need to do is make sure. Well, apart from the fact that the interface is now not going away, which is what does that button do? No, I don't want to go there. Oh. Yeah, I want to acknowledge that message, but I don't want. Right, so hang on, and that one. There we are. Ban. This is very powerful, isn't it? There we go. Right, hang on a minute. I've almost dealt with these annoying things. There we go. Right. I think that's it. I think I got them all. Alien, you're not a bot. If we do something ban-worthy, I'll let you know. Right, so oh, hang on, I've got another one. Oh, this is I can't see it now. The problem with this interface is it won't get me. Right, anyway. That one there. Right, ban you as well. Sorry, you're being annoying. Right, there we go. Okay, right, good. Right, hang on, there's a missing target. Look, proxy bots on my stream, and there's kills to be made. There we go. Oh, that was a bit of bad piloting. Boom. Right, there we go, half a credit. We still haven't seen the right on commander yet, which is good. So hang on, let me just go back up to the chat. I need a moderator. I do, yes, I need to think about that. Fiesh, oh my god, I've never seen the original game, so this is cool. So yes, so this is the original game. In all its 8-bit glory. This is not the original platform. This is a port of the game. I think probably the original port of the game, actually, onto the ZX Spectrum, which was a computer of the time. It's the one I grew up with, so I'm sort of reliving my youth. Oh, I missed one, did I? Well, if he comes back again, I'll zap him. So yes, I'll have to work on the moderation, because these bots actually dropped into my wife's stream as well, so she had no idea what they were. So it's the first time I've seen them, actually, which I've probably dodged a bit of a bullet there. So yes, I shall look out for some mods at some point. But anyway, for those of you who aren't bots, welcome. And I am playing the original 8-bit version of Elite. I have missed one, have I? Right, how do I find them? Oh, that one. Right, let's get him. There we are. Ban. Zap. It's very Paul. Yeah, so actually the nearest you can get to this in the original Elite, in Elite Dangerous, sorry, is to buy, well, you could at one point buy the Cobra Mark III wireframe. There were wireframe skins for the ships. So you could kind of do it. Right, there we go. My money's back up. This is good. Right, so we're getting there. We're getting there. Now, our objective is that, for those of you who don't know what we're doing, alien accessing execute response. I am not a bot. I'm as interesting as a bot. Does that count? Yeah, Kelly Bangler, you've been on my streams for many months now, so you're always welcome. So right, what am I doing? Stop distracting me, guys. Come on, right. I'm not sure which system I'm in. I'm in the industrial one. So what I want is cheap computers. Yes, that's much better. Right, there we go. Cheap computers. Then we're going to go back here. So I'm sorry, we're doing a bit of a. I mustn't use the word grind. I was told off. This isn't grind. This is gameplay. Okay. And I need to make sure I've got the fuel. I've got to do the quick save. So for those of you who don't know the original game, of course, this is it's obviously single player. There were multiplayer games back in the day, but that meant buying 2 machines and connecting them together. So kind of not multiplayer in the sense that we understand it, because there was no internet, of course. You know, we had a few really rich kids had modems, but I wasn't one of them. The Spectrum actually did have local area network capabilities. I never actually used it, but it did have the ability to connect up, I think. Yeah, using interface 1. That's it. Command. I have got an interface 1 in my bunch of stuff that I had on my Spectrum, and I only ever used it to talk to the microdrive, of course, which is something I also have. But the interface 1 did allow you to network your Spectrum with another set of Spectrums. But I don't think many games took advantage of that capability. In fact, I don't know whether anything at all much of note took advantage of that capability, but it was there. So there was the idea of networking. I think it was probably in response to the kind of schools market. Whether or not they did anything with it, I don't know. But yeah, it was there. It was there. Don't call it smacking bots. That may give it the wrong idea. Cheap computers equals Raspberry Pis. Yeah, Raspberry Pis. Now I'm a big fan of the Raspberry Pi. I've actually got one. But my Raspberry Pi is relegated to acting as what's called a Pi hole, which sounds slightly dodgy, but it's basically a DNS filter for my internet, and it's been doing that for probably a year now, and doing it very well. But I feel, that wasn't an asteroid. That was either a rock hermit or an anaconda or a boa. We're not quite sure, and I just killed it. I just murdered an innocent ship, as you can see. I murdered it so fast that... Oh, my cargo hold's full, isn't it? That's why. It didn't get a chance to fire back. So I'm a fugitive again. Yay! Welcome to a life of crime in Elite. So in that case, I might as well just go bad again. Let's destroy everything. Oh, is that another ship? think that's... Oh, that ship's attacking me now anyway. Maybe in self-defense. That's interesting. Was that the ship I passed earlier or not? I'm not sure if it was. Anyway, it's going down. There we go. Destroy the missile. Right, now the trick is, can I get to the space station? Will it let me in? Because they can be a bit sniffy about people murdering space ships in their zones, as we found out before. So I may have to jump around a bit now. We'll find out. Oh, that was an asteroid. There's a pirate, so let's deal with him. Now, keep an eye out because we are due anytime soon a right-on commander. Because we are approaching 256 kills. That looks like another Cobra. So these are the Cobra Mark III in the game is relatively straightforward to kill because it's not super strong. Oh, it's not a missile. It's just there we go. 17 credits for killing that. Okay. Now, generally, I find if one of the last things you do is kill a pirate. Now, again, here we're stuck. Is this an asteroid or not? Because in the 8-bit versions there's no way to identify. It was. There we go. It's going to let us in. That's good. I'm now the Scourge of Galactic Chart 2. Yes. So the problem is the game can push you into a life of crime because occasionally you can get stuck in a situation where you misidentify a ship, which of course you shouldn't do. You should try and take care to identify the ship correctly. But if you make a mistake and then you're in a situation where you have to fight for it, then of course you either survive as a fugitive or you die in the game, so you can be pushed into a life of crime on the 8-bit version of the game pretty easily. Stephen Usher says, interesting, the ZXNet protocol was broadcast using CDMA in many ways similar to Ethernet. Was it really? I don't know anything about it, so I do remember it had the network capability. I don't know how fast was it? What sort of, because we measured things in baud rates or baud, is it baud or baud? Baud, anyway, bits per second, the kind of rates. How fast was the network? Do you know? It can't have been that fast, but I'm guessing it was much faster than sort of tape loading speeds. But it can't have been. It was baud rate. That's right. Yeah, command to cover. Stephen, I was not that fast. It was just bit banged. What does that mean? That sounds even more dodgy than bashing bots. Bit banged. Dear. Right, so here we're going to buy some luxuries. Oh, there's only 7 tons available. We might have to go for liquor wines. Liquor and wines. Let's have 31 tons of those and 4 tons of luxuries. That's all we can put on our ship. About 4,800 baud, which was about 4 times as fast as the loading on the cassette, wasn't it? Okay, so bit bang means the CPU toggle bits directly. Okay, so the CPU, because there's no network interface per se, it's the CPU doing everything, isn't it? Bit banging means the CPU setting an output port to either 1 or 0 without any interrupts. Okay, so there's no network card per se, it's just the CPU doing the network transfer, unlike modern architecture things. Okay, cool. See, all this stuff I should have known back in the day, but there we go. Right, so onwards we go. I'm now fugitive once more, so we can murder our way through the trading lanes. Yeah, so everything actually on the Spectrum was pretty much, the CPU did everything, didn't it, really? Yeah, right, so we're going back to Tionen, and we're going to hyperspace there. How are the Golf Mark IIs coming on? Well, one of them is fixed. My son has actually put his back on the road. He's actually got to go back to work next week, poor fella. It's going to be a bit of a shock for him, actually. He's being unfurloughed from his job as a mechanic. And, yeah, he's got to go back to work. Look at that. So we go straight to the planet with no interruptions at all that time. That's unusual. So, yeah, so his Golf is back on the road. He's taking it out this afternoon to make sure it works. See if there's nothing busted on it that we haven't spotted. Mine is almost done, actually, so I'm waiting to put it on the road. I'm going to wait another couple of weeks because we have to pay for road tax monthly in the UK, so, and it's backdated to whatever the current month is. So there's no point me wasting some money to put it on the road now. I'm going to wait till the 1st of June before I put it back on the road, and then it saves me an extra month of road tax. And then I've just got to get a insurance quote. I've assumed I'm okay to drive it, but I haven't checked on the insurance. But one of the advantages, of course, of being old is that insurance is relatively cheap, even for interesting cars. And obviously, whilst a Golf GTI, a 1980s Golf GTI back in the day was quite a fast, expensive proposition by modern standards, it's not very fast at all. So back in the day, it had 139 brake horsepower, which was woof, whereas that's about as daunting as a souffle nowadays. So I don't think I should have any trouble insuring it, but I need to check that. So at the moment, it's not insured for being driven; it's only insured for sort of fire and theft and being pinched, which is obviously what theft is. So I don't know why I said that. Are the engines stock? My son's one is mildly tweaked. He's got a GTI camshaft in it because it's a carburetor model, because he can't afford to insure a GTI at the moment. It's got a GTI camshaft. He's got some things. He's tweaked the timing and stuff like that to kind of get a bit more oomph out of the engine. He's got a Weber carburetor on it, which replaces the original one. So it's probably got 10-15 more horsepower than it came out of the factory. Nothing dramatic. If it's more than 100, then I'll be surprised. So it's not, by modern standards, it's still quite a slow car, but he loves it. He likes his classic car. So that's all good. So my one, I'm aiming to make entirely stock. So mine should have, I hope, about 139 brake horsepower, which is what apparently they came out of the factory with. Now there may be a little bit more than that. It's difficult to say. Until we get it on the rolling road, we're not going to know. So we're going to ultimately at some point set it up properly. So we'll see. Right, so what am I doing? Right, I am here. We want to buy some, we haven't got anything in the cargo hold. We want to buy some computers. There they are. There's a good stock of computers. This is good. So you can make some money quite quickly here. Let's save the game. And off we go. Pushing 160. No, not with that technology. You can do some mods to the 16 valve engine that I've got, which does allow you to up the fuel pressure and advance the timing a bit, which I'm told will get it to about 150, 155 without significant modifications to the engine. But stock, you're not going to get much more out of them than that. If you want to go further than that, you have to sort of think about capacity increases and gas flowed heads and some old school tuning. Of course, you can transplant a modern engine into it, but that for me is kind of diluting the point of having a classic car in the first place. Really, I kind of want to experience it with its original engine wherever possible. I think this is right now. Let's just play around with it. Now this could be it's now, you notice it's launched 2 ships in it. It could be that is indeed a rock hermit, but I want to see what happens when I destroy the other 2 ships, which I've now done because they're dead easy. Now this ship is still firing on me and it's moving, so I don't think that's a rock hermit. And now it's dropped an escape pod. So is that a boa, or is that an anaconda, or what? So let's just murder the escape pod, because that's just really low, isn't it? Is it a boa or is it an anaconda? I don't, because it's moving. I'm pretty sure that doesn't count as a rock hermit. So I'm not sure. It's an anaconda. So I think we can. That's one little myth we can lay to rest. Some people were speculating as to because look, I'm having to thrust at quite a high level to keep up with it. But it does look, it's really hard to tell that it's not an asteroid. Right, so I'm at about half thrust, tiny little bit there, about half. It's definitely under thrust, okay? So Alien says it's not an anaconda. But it's not a rock hermit, because I'm pretty sure a rock hermit's not supposed to move. So is it a boa? I've got a pirate coming in now. What does it look like on the side view? Let's see if we can overhaul it then. There we go. There we go, that's what it looks like on the side view. So what ship is it? I don't think it could be a Moray because it launches 2 ships at you when you attack it. So either it's a rock hermit with engines, which sounds a bit unlikely, or it's a boa or an anaconda. So I'm not sure what it is. I've always assumed it was an anaconda. But you know, maybe we'll have a look at the ship chart in a bit and just see if we can tell. Oh, I'm under attack for 2 ships now. It's always nice. Thanks very much. So that's a python. Let's deal with that. Because we're a fugitive, of course, the game is quite happy to let the traders attack us as well. Although he's going to regret that because, of course, we're packing a military laser. And that's a Cobra Mark III down there. Incoming missile, but we're immune to missiles because we've got ECO. And that's the end of him. So there we go. So at this level, the combat is... Oh, look, there's another ship down there. What's that? Oh, that's just a cargo canister. It's alright. I need all that quite happily because we've got a full thing of cargo. There we go. Alright, so what's this? It's a python, I think. Boom. Oh, and there's a pirate right at the end of the run. Oh no, get past that. Should have collected the escape pod. I don't think the Mori is in the. I don't think the Mori is in the Spectrum version. Pretty sure it's not. Right, so we're getting good piles of cash. Now I want to make sure that we've got enough cash once we bought the Galactic Hyperdrive to kind of keep rolling, if that makes sense. You need to have about 3,000 to 4,000 credits in the kitty to make sure that you can still fill your hold up with tradable commodities, if that makes sense. Otherwise you kind of get stuck in a haven't got enough money to keep moving scenario. So you've got to be a little bit careful that you don't run out of cash. So that's what I'm just doing. I want to get us to about probably 9,000 credits, and then we can buy the Galactic Hyperspace Drive again to keep going. So right, we're back here. We're in the rich agricultural system. We're going to go for liquor and wines again. Take them back. There we go. So there's 31 tons available of those, and we'll take 4 tons of luxuries as well. We will save the game. We will save the game. We cannot be far now from that right on commander. The bow is like a diamond with a longer point. Yeah, so it's not that, is it? But it did look like one from behind, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Asp looks like a 50p. That's definitely. And Moray looks like a squashed 50p. Yeah, so we should interrogate the occupants, shouldn't we? If only we could do that. Right, anyway, onwards we fly. Onwards we fly. Now keep an eye out for this right on command. We should be getting close. Oh, I need to hyperspace lock. There we go. Hyperspace T on in system. Have a look at the chart before you jump. Sorry. Okay, let's head for the planet. It's going to be an uneventful journey. This is quite a useful system actually. On one side, nothing happens. I looked at the ship identification chart. It does look like an anaconda. So I think it's an anaconda. I think with those, they look very similar. That you either get, if you get a moving one, it's an anaconda. If you get a non-moving one, it's a rock hermit. But anacondas, I think, in this case, in the Spectrum version, fly around, and when they're annoyed, I noticed with the anaconda, rather oddly, is able to outrun you or chase you. I'll hopefully show you that at some point. It is faster enough in the game that it can keep up with you, which is surprising because it's a massive big ship, obviously, but it's faster in the Spectrum version, which is a bit weird. Okay, so we are getting there. 7,500 credits. Let's go back. It's funny, these little things that you think, I must have known this at the time, but your memory is a bit weird, isn't it? You slowly lose things as time goes on. Get the fuel, save the game, and we will go back. So on that chart, it looks like an anaconda. Okay, so Alien thinks it is So I'm pretty much convinced it's an anaconda. So I think that's a myth put to bed. The trouble is the anaconda and the asteroid look so similar. It's actually almost sort of like a gameplay fault, isn't it? But maybe it was done deliberately. Is that you know, you could get into trouble for attacking what you thought was an asteroid, and then it basically chucks you an anaconda instead, which is actually quite a meaty ship, particularly early on in the game. And it also launches 2 other ships at you as well, which is a bit of a shock the first time you encounter it, which is a nice bit of gameplay. We still haven't encountered any ships with beam lasers on. Maybe that's because our rating isn't high enough yet. But certainly, I remember that, encountering ships with beam lasers. But I haven't seen that happen. Everything so far has just been kind of pulse laser stuff. Right, it's murder time. Sorry, I've got places to be. Yeah, you're just in my way. Well, he was alert. At least he got 1 shot off. Another pirate. I want my right on commander as well. And that literally is just a kill count. Okay, it doesn't matter whether fair means or foul. Okay, you know, you can be a murder hobo and you'll still get your right on commander from. It's literally just a ranking based on the number of kills. Oh, I've overheated my weapon. That's not good flying. That's one thing the Python does have, is it's got strong shields. No missiles though. Oh, there it goes. Boom. 20 credits for that one. Still no right on commander. Oh. Oh no! And that's interesting. I rammed the oh, out and again. I've just flown into the debris there of the ship that I destroyed, and that's something I'd forgotten as well. Notice I got I got a massive hit on my shields and my energy banks because of rams and stuff, and now I've got problems. I've lost my energy unit and now I'm under attack, and the energy unit was destroyed. I took some damage. Okay, so now I've got a slight problem in the sense that my energy units will not recharge very fast. I'm out in space, and I'm under attack. And I've got limited energy, so I do have to be a little bit careful here. There we go. So I'm going to have to sit here for a bit. Now that's interesting because basically I lost some equipment. I lost some equipment. My energy unit I've lost because of bad. Oh no! I'm in real trouble. I've been bracketed by 2 pirates. Now the only thing to do here is to run for a little bit to get the shields up, because I've got no forward shields and no aft shields. Okay, and I've got 2 ships closing on me from either side. One's there and one's there. So this is where the game is quite exciting. Okay, so you know, it's like, actually I'm in trouble now. I've got to try and keep these 2 at range and hope I can keep them out of range. If they're slower than me, I have got a rear gun, so I might be able to take some pot shots at them. But that's a long. I think I may be dead here. Yep, they are. Unless I can get out of range. If they're faster than me, I've had it. If I can keep out of range of their guns, just come on. No. Gonzo's gone camping. Oh dear. They are hitting me. Yeah, I should have dodged a bit, but yeah. See, the game is dangerous. This is what it's like. Zap. Fortunately, I've got a quick load now. We weren't too far away because I've been saving religiously. Okay, so we haven't lost anything other than the last jump, which I think is there. So yeah, so the game that was shows you that the game still kills you. The last save was literally just before that jump, so we're okay. But it shows the game can still kill you. So what happened there, for those of you who just jumped in to the stream, is that in one of the battles I lost my energy unit, which meant my shields wouldn't recharge, and then the game bracketed me with a bunch of pirates, which meant I was down on energy. I made the decision to run. Worked against me because I didn't. I came across 2 pirates that were fast enough to keep up with me. So, and I was, yeah, at that point I was dead. So, yeah. So the game is still a challenge even now. You know, I've got a good ship, but I can take damage. So there's another nice little game mechanic that was in the original game, which means that, you know, progress is not guaranteed. Yeah, like I say, it keeps you on your toes even with a good ship. So, so yeah, good gameplay, right? Good gameplay. Which means that if you take damage, which you can if your shields are down. So notice that I've got over here, I've got front shield and aft shield. Notice that they will change in strength when I'm under attack. And now the game's ramping up the difficulty. I've got 3 pirates on me. So this is basically partly because we're in Galactic Chart 2, the sort of training wheels are off now, and partly that my ranking is going up. The game is making itself harder. I'm now taking damage when my shields are down, which I don't think happened in Galactic Chart 1. That's one down. Full speed. Let's go and get the other one. Yeah, so if your shields are down, even though your energy units are still there, you can take damage, which means you may lose equipment, which, in the middle of a fight like I did just there, lost the energy unit. That's quite fatal, because you can't get your shields back up. And if you lose something like your ECM, of course, you're vulnerable to missiles, which again can be totally fatal. That's not the target. Which one of those is actually the ship? There we go. There's no zoom. Oh, that's right. Hang on a minute. I'm gonna shoot the cargo because it's cluttering the scanner. There you go. It's one of them. It's probably the one behind me, I'm guessing. Yeah, it's a sidewinder. There we go. Boom. Not very strong sidewinders. Annoying, but not very strong. So there we go. So with the energy unit up, a fight is okay. With the energy unit gone, that's not easy. And then of course we're just going to go murdering space traffic anyway, because we're bad and evil. Oh, another pirate. Game likes chucking pirates at us. So anyway, how are we doing? We're almost an hour in and we haven't got our right on commander yet. I'm surprised. It's probably really close to it and then we got killed. There we go, 20 credits. Still no right on commander. It's not going to give it to me just yet. Do any of the planets in Galaxy 2 appear in ED? I'm not sure. There are. Somebody did an analysis of this. I haven't got that to hand, I'm afraid. But there are a handful, I think, of systems from the other 7 charts that are in Elite Dangerous, and question mark as to why that is. Yep. I don't think anybody really knows. So I think there are some, but I don't think there are many in there. Right. So we're back to liquor and wines, and oh, we haven't quite got a full cargo hold. We could buy some narcotics, but that's just asking for trouble. So we won't do that. Right, we are almost there. Right. So I didn't die this save, so this is okay. That's right. D2EA did a dump of about 25 planets. So yeah, there are about, that sounds about right to me, about 25 planets from the original game in Elite Dangerous. Not all of them from Galactic Chart 1. For reasons we don't know, right? Something interesting maybe happening. Right, so hopefully getting close to our last milk run now. Save the game. And then hyperspace to Tionan. Well, that's because I think what somebody's done is they've because it's quite easy from the original Elite to extract all the planet names because it's procedurally generated, and then you can kind of just use imagine you use some sort of script to go through the galactic map in Elite Dangerous to detect whether or not they're there or not if it gets a match. I might as well scoop that up actually, because I haven't quite got full cargo hold, have we? I think I've got 1 ton spare. So whatever this is will be a nice little addition. Some luxuries. Excellent. Let's hope this is an asteroid. It was. There we go. Still no right on commander. Have I searched for Rexler in Elite? Yes, I spent years searching for Rexler in Elite, and it obviously wasn't there. Is it in Elite dangerous? Well, that was the topic of my stream the other night. So again, I think the answer to that is we don't know. We really don't know. It's a sort of too long didn't read version of that. Now, how much money have I got? I've got 8,000. So I think it's time. I think it's time to buy the Galactic Hyperdrive again, since we're here. That takes us down to 3. Now, we kind of need to just fly around a bit, I think. So we've got the Galactic Hyperspace. We're competent. And let's go around murdering and pirating again for a bit and see what happens. What we're trying to do is we're trying to get the game to trigger the mission for us. So we should be in a position now where A, we're due for our right on commander, and B, we've got everything we need to trigger the mission. So I vote we let's just fly around a bit. Let's go on to where should we aim to go? Let's head down south. Sorry, yes, Rezabi, or whatever that is. Federation still hate me in ED. I've been faction grinding but lost interest after they stopped attacking me on site. All went wrong. 2014ish. Yeah, you can get stuck in a bad place in the game, can't you? But you have to. I tend to quite like role playing in these games, and I tend to go with what happens. So, I'm a bad boy space pirate in this game now, just because. So pirates attacking. Right. So I'm hoping we're going to get this right on commander. We definitely deserve it soon. Can't be far off. I'm hoping that we haven't mucked something up on the save or anything like that, but I can only do what the game does. So that's a Python. So let's murder and pillage again. Get a full tanker, a full hold of stuff. Now this is, to be honest, this is the way I tended to play the game when I was a kid. Is I generally was good, but I was sometimes bad when nobody was looking. And I used to fly around. I didn't tend to go trading most of the time. I tended to just murder and pillage until I had a full hold of stuff. Food, boring. And then go back to the space station and sell it. And that was quite a good way of making a living in this game. And so there's another asteroid. Looks like another one. Yep. I kind of hope we don't get a right on commander for killing an asteroid. That's going to make for quite a boring clip. It's a valid target, of course, but so I'm just going to go here and refuel because there's nothing else to do. That was quite a boring system. Okay, there we go. Right, let's save that. We might have to go onwards. Right, let's go to Aninat. Now I think Commander Arioch said I had to jump around a bit to get the mission to trigger. So I'm just literally doing that. I'm just going to fly about a bit and hope the mission triggers, because there's no obvious way to know how to trigger the mission. Here's a pirate. I bet you got it last Saturday because the Goyds score more than do the Goyds. So do they? That's a good question. I thought a kill was a kill, but maybe it's not. Maybe do you get more points for different types of ships, or? So I'm just going to keep murdering basically now until we get my right. I feel like I deserve my right on commander. So there's pirates in the system, which is good to kill. So yeah, I don't know. I thought, I mean, people who know the code perhaps better than me will be able to answer that, but I thought a kill was a kill on the 8-bit versions. So it feels to me that we're now due Right on Commander. It's not giving it to us, is it? Scoop up that. Oh, narcotics. Oh, this guy was a bad boy, which is always quite fun. Right, let's scoop up. You're a drug smuggler, so I don't feel bad about sending you into slavery. Here's a poor innocent ship, which is about to die. At least he tried to evade. He hasn't fired back on me yet. And too late. Food. It's boring. We don't want food. We want narcotics, luxuries, computers, stuff that's worth something. Food is really, really cheap. On the Amiga, the number of jumps after jumping to a galaxy triggered the mission. Okay, well maybe I need to just, like you say, keep moving around. I think if Ariok is still online, then he might be able to tell us whether I need to be in a space, whether the mission triggers when I arrive in a space station, or whether it's coming out of hyperspace. Luxuries. Oh look, there we go. We got a massive pirate attack suddenly triggered. Quite like these. At least the game is upping the difficulty, which I always think is good fun. Quite close to the planet as well, actually. Now on the Spectrum, there was a bit of kudos involved in being able to kill the ships before they actually became vector graphics. Before they start out as a point. Computer's nice. Don't mind that. And then they start out as a kind of 2x2 set of pixels like that, and then within a few moments they turn into the vector graphics. There's a Sidewinder. Sidewinders are slightly dangerous in the sense that they're quite quick and they fire missiles, but they're not very strong, as you can see. Still no right on Commander. Now I saw the S appear there, so these guys are not letting me dock. They don't like. That's annoying. This is something that does happen. But sometimes when you're fugitive, you can't dock, and I can't hyperspace anywhere either because I haven't got enough fuel. So what I'm going to have to do now, that would actually be game over, unless you have the fuel scoop, which I fortunately do have. It's not letting me in. All I've got to do is find the sun. I've got to go back now, which is a bit annoying. So if I'm going to be a murder hobo, I might as well kill this ship. Or asteroid, whatever it is. So I've now got to fly back to the sun to get enough fuel to jump out of here. But I've also got to find the sun, and there's no way to do that. Yeah, and you definitely can't manually dock because you will just die. Effectively, the doors are closed on the space station. There's the sun. I'm also too close to the planet now. I can't engage the tourist drive. So the tourist drive is where the mass lock comes from. And for anyone who cares, below are the systems that are in Elite and Elite Dangerous. There we go. So those are the systems that are in, which is quite an interesting list. So no, no heavy record. I can't manually dock. That's right. Now I'm stuck because I've got to wait to get out of range of the space station, for which I can't dock at. It's really annoying. So yeah, so there's a whole bunch of systems there, and they're not all in Galactic Chart 1. Make of that what you will. That's a good list. Thank you very much for posting it, Winnie. That to me is something that's got to be a little bit more than a coincidence. It may not be much more than a coincidence, but it's interesting enough for me to go, ooh, why are they there? So I don't know if anybody's yet done a thorough investigation of all of those systems to see if that does anything in Elite Dangerous or not, but Oh, this is a bounty hunter. Not for long. That was a third lance, but it's not a very meaty ship up against my military laser. There we go, and there's another pirate coming in to have a go. So let's crack on. Oh, bad shooting by me. That is some cargo, isn't it? So I might as well pick the cargo up. For the combat, for those of you who don't know this, in the original Elite there is no yaw control, so it's all roll, climb and dive. That's all you've got. Which, oh, there's another pirate, which did make the combat something quite visceral, because it's sort of airplanes in space really, and there's no equivalent to kind of FA off in the original Elite. It's all limited top speed in space sort of stuff. The direction you're pointing is the direction you're flying, so it's far more like an atmospheric. Oh, shot down the cargo. There we go! Did you all see that? Yes! Right on, Commander. That means, yay, there we go. That means I have killed 256 ships. There we go. You saw it live on stream. Yay. That is a good thing. So that's we've achieved something today at least. Right on, Commander was there. So brilliant. That's good news. I'm pleased to have got that. And for those of you wondering what was all the fuss about about Right on Commander, well, Right on Commander is the phrase that all the original players of the game remember, because and as you saw, you get it on the screen, and you get it on the screen every time you kill 256 ships. That's basically what triggers the message. So every time, every 256 ships, which of course is an 8-bit number, Stephen Usher will tell me it's 2 to the power of something. Is it 2 to the power of 8? 2 to the power of something. Then you see that message. So that literally is where the phrase "Right on Commander" that you may see, particularly some of the older players of Elite Dangerous saying. Oops. Oh, fuel leak. Another bit of damage. Okay, so I hit that escape pod with my front shield down, and it ripped out all my fuel, which fortunately I'm going to be refueling in a moment. But another occupational hazard. So this is the thing. It's 2 to the 9. There we go. Thank you very much, Stephen Usher. We're almost at the star now. So we can take damage A from ramming things, and B from weapons fire when our shields are down, even though the energy units are up. So, ooh, the ship's still there. It was almost on the collision course, wasn't it? So I do want to get back to a base, because I'm conscious, because of the way we've been flying around here, we haven't even been able to save. Now I can save anywhere I like, but we're almost at the sun now, so that's a ship as well, but I'm a murder hobo, so there we go. Let's pick up the cargo, or the escape. Alright, fuel scoops are on, that's good. Right, cabin temperature's rising. I'm not sure if I can get that, whatever that is. Right, anyway, 2 to the 8. Is it 2 to the 9, 2 to the 8? I kind of assumed it was 2 to the 8, but, well, Stephen Usher knows far more about computers than I do. Let's see if we can sneakily get this cargo canister. Oh, there's a ship spawned ahead of me. Now that's not good. Oh, that's not good news, because we're too close to the sun to fight. So I'm actually going to run away from the sun for a bit. Actually, I'm going to hit it with my rear mining laser. Gotcha. That's one thing you can't do in Elite Dangerous. You haven't got rearward facing guns that you can snipe people with, which I think is actually a really nice thing from the original game. Well, let's just turn the engines off. Well, fuel scooping, that's right. Let me catch up with chat. The first time I've seen the fuel leak. So yeah, so fuel leak was a thing that occasionally happens. It's another type of damage, effectively, on the 8-bit version. I think it randomly chooses something from your list of equipment and the fuel. I don't think you can lose missiles, but you can definitely lose fuel, or one of your pieces of equipment is destroyed. So those are things that the Spectrum version will do to you. I don't think these things seem to be a lot more common to me in the. Oh, there's a crate. It's almost always a pirate. So why isn't he attacking me? That's a bit weird. Unusual behaviour from the game here. Crates are, I'm pretty sure, are always pirates on the Spectrum, but he doesn't. He's just flying around. So anyway, which is a little bit odd. Don't know why that would be. Keep an eye on him. Oh no, there we go. He's now attacking me. Now decided to fire on me. Or not. That's odd behaviour. Not quite sure what's going on. He's not a pirate. He's after the pirates. Arr. Right, so there's a little bit of cargo there floating about. I've got to be a bit careful here. Oh, now he decides to fire at me. He's obviously a really bad pilot. Yeah, he's like cheeky monkey. You're going to regret that, aren't you? Alright, we're almost full of fuel. And some slaves. Well, why not, right? That's probably some alloys there, just floating around in space. Oh no, it's another cargo cylinder. Might as well pick it up while we're here. It's all free money. So yeah, so right on Commander, every 256 kills, which is good. Definitely 2 to the 8. There we go. Which makes more sense to me actually. Right, we're almost. Oh, I've stopped refueling because I've gone too far away from the sun. Turn around again, plunge into the star. There we go. Oh, there's a pirate coming. Right, come on, let's just fill up hyperspace to somewhere. Actually, we can go there anyway, so let's just go. There we go. Right, we want this mission to trigger. Stephen Usher can't count. I'm disappointed in you, Mr. Usher. I expected more. So, which makes sense. It's 2 to 8. Oh, now that 2 pirates spawning together. So this is another little trick of the ZX Spectrum. And sometimes, the worst case that you could happen, it happened very rarely, is that, as you can see, occasionally you'll get 2 pirates spawning together, which makes things a little bit more exciting. 2 crates again. Now look a bit. One down. 2 down. Nice. You can the worst the Spectrum could throw at you would be 8 ships simultaneously, which it's I think I may have chosen a really bad system here. Let's scoop this cargo up. Yeah, look, that one's a double one. So this is interesting. Now the trick is here. You've got to be a little bit careful. Do you scoop the cargo, which is what I'm doing, or do you deal with the attackers? So I'm being quite brave here. Right, let's get around and attack the more pirates that are coming in. So we've got 2 sets of pirates again, which is a bit mean. And there's a third one behind me, which I'm going to have to watch out for. Now the trick here is you've got to deal with the ones ahead of you before you turn around, because if they get out of your gun sights, you can see I'm already quite low on energy. Got to be a bit careful. Unfortunately, I've got the energy unit, so I'm not in dire straits, but you can see the game does ramp up the difficulty quite a lot, quite quickly. I've got to get this guy. Come on, come on. Yes. Right, we'll come back and get that. Let's get this guy off our forward. It's another crate. If I can get onto his tail, he's toast. Oof. Oh, diving away for me. But you can see the AI is now slightly better, and the game is ramping up the difficulty for me, which is good. I don't mind. Yeah, it feels like you could have fights like this. There are epic. If you look on YouTube, there are epic fights in some of these systems where it takes you 20 minutes of constant fighting to get to the space station. Gotcha. There we go. So we're out of trouble again. But that was, you know, I was having to concentrate then. Things got dicey. Okay, so it's good that the game is upping the difficulty. Let's pick up this cargo, because we want to be rich as well. We still haven't seen the supernova mission, of course, which was kind of today's objective, but at least we got our right on commander. So 2 objectives today. One was right on commander, which we did get. Now let's hope this is an asteroid. If not, but it's dead anyway. There we go, more cargo for us. Right, let's head for the space station. So a bit of murdering going on, but hey, there's a pirate. Now it's actually quite nice when you get a pirate quite close to the planet, because I think the Spectrum version basically says if you're sort of a bit good before you get to the space station, then the space station will let you in. This guy's got a good shot. That's an asp. Ouch. This guy's good. Blimey. He was a good shot, didn't he? Completely wiped out my forward shields, took out 3 of my energy banks. That's the best pilot I've come across so far, this guy. I will give him that. And he's dodging one as well. So, yeah, the AI has definitely moved up a notch since leaving Galactic Chart 1. Which is good. That's not going to help you. I'll have your hull as a prize. There we go. I think I saw another pirate appear there. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, so some of these ships can be quite. I'm going to let my shields. Oh, it's too late. Let my shields come again. Tough. He's whacking me hard. Got to be careful here. Get past him. So I knew that was there's a tactic there. I think do not fire on him too much so that he launches his missile at you. You've got to balance that, because you know if you fire a missile you're going to have to trigger the ECM, and the ECM consumes a lot of power. So you don't want to do that when you're in your last energy unit. You've got to back off, and then your tactic there is to get past him so he can't fire at you, and then attack him again once you've got a better tactical position. So lots of good tactical stuff. Now I'm in a better position. I can ECM his missile, and then the ASP pulls out of range there because it's faster. Fortunately, he says, I know roughly what I'm doing. I'm going to scoop him up because he was a worthy opponent, but I'm going to sell him into slavery anyway. And I'm going to sit there and let my shields come back up. So that's another little tactic. Don't press on until your shields are back up. That might have been a beam laser asp. It was possibly, yeah, I got a feeling that maybe that is actually, because they're hitting you almost constantly. So that might have been a beam laser asp. You're quite right. So let's just jump to the space station here. There we go. That's cheating. Kick them in the asp. Yeah, I always used to think the asp was look like a pair of Y fronts. For those of you who don't know what Y fronts are, I suggest you don't Google that. Don't do that. Don't Google it. Okay, don't Google Y-front. That's not going to work. Right, so 3 tons of food, 2 tons of radioactives, 8 tons of slaves. Nice. 1 ton of liqueurs, 4 tons of luxuries. So quite a nice haul for my, and some narcotics as well. 3 tons of that wasn't a bad haul, was it? And a bit of alloys. Well, they're always worth. Actually, alloys aren't too bad. How much do alloys go for? 36 credits. They're actually worth scooping. Actually, I tend to think of alloys as really cheap, but actually they're sort of worth it. Computers and narcotics are normally the highest paying ones, but anyway, there we go. Right, so onwards we go. We haven't triggered the mission yet, but hopefully somewhere along the line we will. don't Google Y-fronts. I used to be a Top Gun pilot. Now I wash dishes for Mrs. Yeah. Oh dear. Right, so another hyperspace jump. Another day in the cockpit. Right, so let's just keep murdering our way through so we can do as many. Let's just hyperspace. Actually, well, if I don't know if Ariok's still around. Does anybody know with this supernova mission? We should be able to trigger it now. We've got all the prereqs. Oh no, look, it's a Poxy Anaconda again. All right, let's deal with the escort ships. Okay. So I'm going to add insult to injury by ignoring them while they're attacking me and scoop up the cargo, which just shows how badass I am. And then once I've scooped up the cargo, then I turn on them, which is actually a tactical error, of course, but the game is sufficiently lenient that it, no, well, that's the end of the sidewinds. Sidewinds don't think ever carry any cargo. Now, this ship is presumably then an Anaconda because it's fighting back. Now, here's something to watch. Right, I'm going to deliberately disengage here. This is a little experiment. And I'm going to pretend to make a run for it. Okay, so I'm running away now at full throttle. You can see my speed readout. Now, the Anaconda will attack, as you can see. But notice something here on the rear view display is it will come back in. And I think I'm right in saying, now I'm outrunning at the moment, so let's keep it interested by attacking it with my okay, now watch. It's now at the moment it's still falling behind. But I think I'm right in saying that it will do some sort of weird speed boost sometimes. I'm going to keep it honest by firing my. Watch, here it comes. Look, I'm at full throttle. It is closing on me. There we go. So the Anaconda has this weird speed boost on the Spectrum version, which allows it to pull back into range. So it's both able to carry 2 other fighter ships, and you watch, it will swoop past my rear view display in a moment at virtually point blank range. Look, there we go. It is capable of catching me up. Okay, so that's weird, but I'm glad that I've proved it to my satisfaction now that is definitely an Anaconda. It's not a rock hermit, but it's also got that weird ability, and I remember that. I thought I was imagining, but I'm not. It has a strange speed boost every so often that allows it to come back into range and deal with you, or at least try to. So I'm going to wipe it out now. But you saw that, right? So yeah. So if it is an Anaconda, which is what I think it is, it's massively fast as well. In fact, it's so fast that it possibly has gone here at full throttle as it's dropped its escape pod, and it's quickly moving out of range, even for me at full throttle. So unless I nail it, there we go, got it. So that was weird, right? So it's like it had a kind of turbo boost, which of course is probably what it would have had in the 80s. And it's notice here it was moving so fast when it dropped that cargo pod that it's taking me ages to overhaul the cargo pod. So yeah, so that is a bit strange, but I do remember that from the original game. So and I thought I was going a bit mad Thinking, I'm sure I remember them seeing them swooping around and catching you back up, and they do. So there we go, I've proved it. Yay, go me. So there are lots of little things. I mean, and it's amazing, really, if you consider how small this game is in terms of code. You know, the Spectrum had 32 kilobytes of RAM left over once everything was booted up, and this entire game, graphics, sounds, missions, you know, and all the little extra little details like that one, are all in that tiny amount of space. And yet the game is still imminently playable even today. And I know I'm looking at it through rose-tinted glasses because I'm old school, but you know, I'm still having fun. Oh, no. Anacondas everywhere today. 2 escorts. 2 crates. Nice little haul of cargo here for me, though. There's the other one. Oh, it's a sidewinder. And I'm so badass, I shot down his missile. Only elite competitors get to do that. Look how good I am at lining my ship up as well. I'll just slide in there, sneak up the cargo. Oh, there's another pirate coming in. There's the other one. Let's go get that. It's funny how the muscle memory comes back playing this game. Although I'm not playing it on my Spectrum keyboard, it feels like I kind of am, because the keys fall to hand so well. And the way the game played is so intimately familiar because I played it so much that I just remember. There we go. That's sort of, maybe that's the beam laser. It's basically just constant fire, pretty much. So that's, I think, the beam laser effect you're seeing there, which does, if you get 2 of them, is quite overwhelming. You get 2 beam laser equipped ships on you, you're pretty much dead. It's virtually impossible to get out of it. You see how fast the energy banks go down under attack from that ASP. So ASPs are now extra dangerous in Galactic Chart 2. So we have to bear that in mind. So I'm having to just pause for a moment there. Yeah, I wanted the fact that it was a port worked for them, they can make improvements. I think they certainly tweaked things, maybe addressed some of the deficiencies, and it's clever stuff. Alien, how they fit it all into, you know, that such a small space. And I think the BBC was even smaller, wasn't it? It loaded things in and out of disk. I know that. I think the BBC had less available memory than the Spectrum. Certainly the 48K Spectrum. There we go. Cobra is not much of a challenge now. Spectrum had more RAM available. It did, yeah. So that's a big, for games like this, that's a big deal, because of course you can, if you've got more RAM, you can stick more stuff in them, more variety, more different things. You know, Elite on the BBC only had the 2 missions, whereas we have got 3, and they're possibly, arguably, a bit more sophisticated than the ones on the BBC. I don't know. I haven't played the BBC missions. We haven't yet triggered a Spectrum mission, so this is what we're on our quest to do. Save. But we're basically waiting now, because we think we've got all the prerequisites for the mission to generate, or to spawn, or whatever it is. But it hasn't happened yet. So yeah, so they've got the box. The game was on one. Yeah, so the Ariok, yeah, the Frontier Elite 2 was a single floppy disk, wasn't it? So, and that was a double density one, I think they were, which was 720k. Yep. Yeah, Stephen Usher. The Spectrum was 125 originally, and then 175 for the 48k version. So I got the 16-bit, 16K version first, and then later on upgraded it to 48K. Well, that was a fairly boring planet. There we go. Because the price came down relatively soon, didn't it? That was a boring planet. Never mind. We'll just refuel and keep travelling. It's like Littlest Hobo. Have you seen that? Just keep moving on. So actually we're sort of halfway down. We kind of want to go left a bit, I think. Let's go that way. And save again. We're just literally now waiting to target it. Yeah, so 48K caught on so well the game makers could target it. Other people remembering Little Hobo. I don't know if I can play that. Maybe tomorrow I wanna sell them. That was on about the same time. Was that in the 80s? It was in the 80s, wasn't it? Pretty sure that was an 80s thing. It's basically this dog who basically every episode he goes somewhere and sort of rescues some worthy people, doesn't he? Don't start with the music again. Oh, Eric. Yeah, so the Littlest Hobo is basically this dog who it's a 20-minute episode, I think, and he arrives in some place. I assume it's America. That's what my memory's telling me, and does something to help some sort of poor or otherwise worthy people out. And then, just as they think, oh, what a lovely dog, we should adopt it, it sort of says, no, I'm off to wherever the next place was. So that's right. So it's kind of like a it was a sort of Lassie rip-off, but the dog was, on a mission to keep going. I don't know how it ended. Does anybody know? Did the dog eventually settle down, or did it just stop? I have no idea. So, like a lot of those shows, you because of the way things were scheduled on television, of course, if you missed an episode, that was it. You'd missed an episode. Unless you much later on in the 80s, we had VCRs, video cassette recorders. But in the earlier part of the 80s, we didn't have those. So if you missed a TV episode, that was it. You'd missed it. That was it. You had to hopefully catch it on a rerun. And as a result, a lot of those shows, I remember episodes from them, but I've not watched them in proper sequence. This is a Fer-de-Lance bounty hunter. That was again tough, right? So the enemies are getting harder. You do have to have your wits about you once more, because if you tread badly and make a mistake, you will die, which is good, Ah, and the space station's not letting me in, the rotters. Oh, I hate it when they do that. So now we've got to turn around, fly back out to the star, which is miles away. Oh, how irritating is that? Anyway, there we go. Love Littlest Hobo, says Dear Squidby, yay. Of course, the Spectrum went down in price the week after I got one. Yeah, that's always... I think I had mine about a year before the price changed. But yeah, so some of the shows didn't have continuity. They were just, like you say, just random episodes. You could jump in and jump out. But certainly, things like Airwolf, I need to re-watch, because there is continuity across the seasons, if not in necessarily the individual episodes. Don't mess with the Drew. Now, that was a pirate, so what am I at the moment? Am I still fugitive? Yeah, I'm still a bad boy. The space station is not letting me in. Doesn't like me. There's the start. Come on. I haven't even let me engage the jump drive yet. Apparently, there we go. Alien says apparently the girl in the final episode kept the dog. Ah. That's sort of very sickly sweet, but quite sweet. I'm kind of pleased actually. There we go. Children of the Stones. Yeah, that was odd. I remember that. That was really weird. Yeah. So some of those shows were distinctly. Yeah, you have to wonder what people were on at the time and who approved them. There were some quite weird things. Come on. Allow me to get to the star. Ooh, good hit there. Nice. That was the missile. Very good. This is going to be a bit of a slog, this one. It is annoying when you get to the space station you can't dock. And you've got to go all the other way back out to the sun. And in a system like this, unfortunately it's going to be spawning ships at us all the way, which is also annoying. But hey, chance to pick up some cargo. Always look on the bright side. Food. Ugh, not food. I want food. I want narcotics. Oh, there's the star. Oh, another trader. So it's their entity fault for getting my crosshair, really, isn't it? There we go. Maybe tomorrow I want to settle down. Until tomorrow. Yes. Maybe tomorrow. Oh, narcotics, that's more like it. And some slaves, why not? Oh, pirates. It does all count towards the rating, you're right. So we've got to just murder our way through space here a bit. So really by this point in the game, you have kind of seen pretty much, I would say, everything the game can throw at you. Which is why, of course, the missions become interesting. Because they're a deeper, out of the ordinary sense of gameplay for a game like this. Get rid of that missile. Pulling that trick on me. This should be a crate, I would have thought. A sidewinder. So 3 sidewinders there. All trying to jump me at the same time, the cheeky monkeys. Take that. There we go. Blake was the lad's dad. It was a very odd. Yeah, so that was very strange. I can't remember really what the point of that program was now. I do remember watching it, thinking this is weird. Like most of the things in the 80s. There were a lot of very odd shows. Stuff that certainly wouldn't get made today, that's for sure. Alright, we're almost at the star. We can put our back to this awful system. Dear oh dear. Stick of the Dump. Oh, God. That was a book, wasn't it? I remember reading that at school. Was that turned into TV as well? And the Tomorrow Children and things like that. Very odd. Right. Oh, no, go the wrong way. Dive, dive, dive. Where's the star? There it is. Oh, stop spawning ships. I only have to kill them. It's not fair on them. See? Oh. That was an anaconda, wasn't it? Not for long it wasn't. Interesting enough, the anaconda there was an innocent ship. It spawned a crate, and I think there's a small bug in the game there, because the crate fired on me before I fired on it. Technically, it became the pirate, and I got some money for it. Not that I'm really complaining, but I think that's a slight bug. So poor crate not only died, but died in ignominy. Right, so we're almost. Oh, the cabin temperature's coming up, so we'll be able to feel a bit good. There we are. Oh yeah, Quatermass in the Pit. That was mad. 1979 series of Quatermass on TV. Yeah, lots of weird stuff like that, wasn't it? There we go. Right, we're in the range of the sun. Right, let's go. Where are we going to go? It's quite a barren part of the galaxy, really, isn't it? Can we go here? 6 light years. Yes, we can. Let's go over there. Fuel scoops are on. Dun, 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 dun. So we haven't triggered the mission. It's annoying. I was hoping we would. But yeah, it's all to come, isn't it? The excitement, the tension, knowing what great excitement might be ahead. It's cool. But you can see you had to chuck so much of your imagination into these games to kind of keep playing. But it's still very playable even now. And you know, for a game obviously that's that old, you know, refreshingly free of bugs. You know, I mean, it's not very big in terms of code, but and yeah, they must have tested these sort of things. And you know, the complexity of these games is nowhere near as big as modern stuff. But even so, you know, we know about the bug of hyperspacing through a space station, which is a way of cheating. We think the Thargoid thing is a toggle. Maybe a debug toggle. Oh, look at that. It's just spawned loads of pirates around us. That's nasty because there's nothing we can do about that because we're so close to the star. So I'm going to have to... This is again a nice tense little moment. Okay, I'm refueling. Can I get away from the pirates to the destination I want? The fuel's creeping up. It's almost there. Hyperspace range? No, come on. There we go. Literally, just as they start attacking me, poof, I disappear. Which is quite cool. So I think the game is quite clever like that. It does use the combination of the mechanisms it's got rather well to create tense situations. Whether some of those are by design or not, it's difficult to tell, but the fact that you're stuck in a tactical situation where it's dangerous to move, and then suddenly you get jumped by lots of other ships is you know, that's good. That's good. It's a good use of what the game can do. Again, ships are getting better at targeting you and are hitting you harder the further up you get. So they were definitely dialed back in Galactic Chart 1, whereas now they are hitting me harder. Each ship, even Sidewinders, are taking my shields down without too much work. Both shields were destroyed there. So you know, the game difficulty is up, which is a good thing. It's scaling with me, which again is good design. This is another one of those pesky bounty hunters. Third Lancers are dangerous because A, they can come, as you saw there, with the beam laser, but also have missiles too. Oh, there we go, more pirates. Pirates to the left of me, pirates to the right. Probably crates and sidewinders again, but there we go. More slaves. Fair enough. Oh, another pirate decided to drop in. So sometimes it will spawn an extra pirate for you when you're dealing with the current ones, which means you can end up in a situation where you're just stuck in a situation. It's just constant spawning of attackers, which in some systems can get quite nasty. And they all kind of operate independently, so they just do their own thing when they're attacking you, but which does mean you can play them off against each other a bit. Ooh, got to be a bit careful here. Right, let that recharge, and then hit the energy unit. So you can see I'm constantly now, I'm having to be careful because these baddies are bringing my shields down and reducing my energy quite dramatically on most encounters. So the game has scaled up its difficulty to the fact that I'm, you know, proving myself as a commander, and you know, I've got better equipment, so the game is now playing it hard. And this is what you notice as you travel across the charts, as the game gets tougher, which is good, which I think is a good thing. Another pirate. Oh, there's a cheeky S. Yes. See, that's. I think that is a bug, really, but it's presumably some sort of calculation bug as to roughly where the space station is. But anyway, so now we can refuel, and we can sell our ill-gotten gains. I don't think we've got much on the ship, actually. Textiles, 8 tons of slaves again, 1 ton of luxuries, 3 tons of narcotics. Very nice. And some computers, some alloys, and that's it. Right. Okay. So we're making a bit of. Okay, so we're just going to keep on. We've got 15 minutes. We're doing okay. Let's save. All progress must be saved. There we are. And there we go. One of the reasons I hate Monopoly, the game gets easier. I can't stand Monopoly. I don't mind Monopoly, actually. I'll play it once a year. That's about it. But yeah, like I say, the problem with Monopoly is once you start winning, you're generally going to win, aren't you? It's just a matter of time. It's very difficult for anybody else to match you. Board games, though, of course. Yeah, board games at that time. Who remembers Mousetrap? Mousetrap. Mousetrap was a game which looked incredibly cool as a kid, because it had this like Heath Robinson mechanism for capturing a mouse, and you would move. You move your counter around, and at some point you turned the handle and triggered the mousetrap mechanism. But actually, the game was absolutely dire. Nothing happened in the game, and one player, I think, got the opportunity to trigger the mousetrap, and that was it. It was sort of a one-hit thing. So there's this amazing mechanism, which was really quite difficult to assemble without accidentally triggering. And then, of course, what would generally happen is that it didn't work properly when it was supposed to work. And the ball bearing or whatever it is that falls down things and triggers all the different parts of the trap didn't work. So it's a total anticlimax. That's got to be one of the worst board games ever. Oops, I think. Yep, that was an anaconda again. Sidewinder just got off in time. That's not going to do him any good. So yeah, so Mousetrap, through the eyes of a 6-year-old kid, looks awesome. But it's actually really, 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 really bad. So like Buckaroo, yeah. So Buckaroo wasn't quite so bad, I don't think, because at least you had the replay value of when it was going to go off. But those sort of things. Yeah, any board game that requires more assembly than the jet engine. So Cluedo, actually, I thought wasn't a bad game. Cluedo was quite good. So a few of them were okay. Board games, I tend to be a Christmas only thing in my house. Oh, Big Track. Aliens talking about Big Track. Frustration was okay. Yeah, Frustration was good. Big Track now that was a thing. Big Track was like a little robot kind of space vehicle thing that you could program. I've still got one, actually. Yeah, I got one of the re-released ones. It's a bit smaller than the original, but it works. And with Big Track, you could sort of program your you had a keypad on the back, and you could program it to drive around your house, and then when it got there, it could shoot things with a little light on the front. So and it would repeat patterns and turn around and come back again. It was great fun. Again, another one of those toys that was better at your mate's house than actually having it yourself. Yeah, you could drop the apple off to your dad. That's right. You put an apple. It had little like a cargo bay on the back, and you could program it in, and it would drive into the room next door, turn around, beep, and then your dad would pick up the apple, and it would come back. That would take you about half an hour to get right, but it was quite good fun. And very, very, very simple program. It was like forward 5 and left 90 degrees and things like that. Cool classic toys from that period. Is what it used to do at the end. It was, and that quickly gets very annoying, and your parents hate you. But a good toy. So yeah, I've still got a big track. Of course, before the home computer age, we all had those LED Space Invader type handheld games. So who of you remember those? I had the Galaxy Invaders and things like that. They were sort of handheld, kind of they looked like miniature arcade consoles. They were quite cool. And then LCD, of course, came on as a big thing in about that time. So you had the Game and Watch thing, LCD games. Game and Watch like Mario and Donkey Kong and various other ones. My wife has she's still got hers. She had, and then you had the 2 screen ones, which were really posh. They were a really big thing in the playground. Astro Wars, that's the one. Yeah, Astro Wars is the one I've got. That's it. And how does the tune go to that one? That's got quite a distinctive tune. Oh, pirates everywhere. Yeah, I can't remember what it is. Something like that. Anyway. They were so cool. Yeah, if you had one of those at school, you were properly made. So those things had all those things. The Rubik's Cube, of course, came out around that time as well. So all those things were infesting the playgrounds in the 1980s. And they were all very awesome. I like the Rubik's. I can still do the Rubik's Cube actually. It's one thing one skill from the 80s I still, other than playing Elite, one skill from the 80s that I still manage to maintain is that I can do the Rubik's Cube, at least the original one, the 3x3x3. So that was the thing. So there was a few months back in the 80s where everybody had a Rubik's Cube, and we were all learning to. That was the thing when that first came out. It's funny what you remember is the cool ones were the glowing LCDs. Yeah, LCDs. Yeah, you could see them in the dark then. That was even better. Die a horrible death. I feel justified in scooping up these guys because they're doing damage to my ship. So we're still slaughtering our way through, but we haven't triggered the mission. So hopefully all that goodness is to come. I hope I don't trigger it in like the last 30 seconds of the stream because we'll have to finish it, won't we? I don't think it takes too long to finish, but it would be good to see it. That was a Cobra. Was being the operative word. Oh, the Simon, yeah, Simon. Oh, Simon was good. Simon Says that was like just a memory game with 4 colours, and you had to had to remember the sequence. It came up with a random sequence. That was quite a good game to play with your mates. So yeah, Simon was good. Yeah, Pocketeers. Yeah, Clockwork. Pocketeers. Stephen. Yes, I do. Oh gosh, I've forgotten. I had a collection of those somewhere. I do remember those. They were before the LCD sort of took over as the cool game. Pocketeers they looked like electronic games, kind of, but they weren't. They were clockwork and spring-loaded little things. It seems mad now, but I do remember those. Yeah, Pocketeers. God, I've got some somewhere. I don't know where they are. They're in the attic somewhere. Somewhere I've got some Pocketeers. I remember them. and they were really quite cool. But they were basically miniature pinball machines, effectively. I would never have remembered those without you, Stephen. I'm going to have to dig them out now. Glowing yo-yos, yes, glowing yo-yos. I can still do yo-yos, actually. I can walk the dog with a yo-yo. That's another skill I've got that I've retained. These things that are utterly useless. Yeah, imagine the tears we've passed the Pocketeer to a kid. Pocketeers, yeah, they were good. Well, I'd forgotten about them. That was pretty. And who remembers? Of course, you must have all been into the. They weren't Dungeons and Dragons, right? They were the Choose Your Own Adventure games. Do you remember them with the Warlock of Firetop Mountain and the Citadel of Chaos and Death Trap Dungeons and things like that? Some of those have made a resurgence actually recently, so they were cool as well. I remember spending hours in school lunch Fighting Fantasy. There we go. They were brilliant, and they're still quite a good read today. Actually, they're good stories. You know, even considering the what they were. Choose Your Own Adventure, obviously. They were great. Steve Jackson and Ian Livingstone. Yeah, see, names from the past. Really, really good stuff. And there was even a spaceship one, actually, I think, wasn't there? I recall a spaceship one. Starship Traveller there, Commander Ariok's already in there. I can tell you guys are from my generation. Dear. But this is the thing, there were so many cool things. I mean, I can't remember. I mean, I obviously did go to school and I learnt about stuff, you know. But I don't remember any of it specifically. I mean, I passed my exam, so I must have learned something along the way. But the only things I actually remember from the 80s are all the stupid stuff we did in the playground and after school with our computers and our mates. And, you know, I remember arsing about cycling around and doing things like that. Oh, look, there's loads of pirates here. 3 all in one go. That's nice. We'll get this guy first. This is going to be slightly interesting. Oh no, lost the energy unit. That's not good news at all. This could be the end of me. Ah! Boom! Oh, see, this game is still hard. Had 3 ships there, all with beam lasers, and that's not easy. That's not easy. Dear oh dear. So that was me getting distracted by fire. It wasn't actually that was just the game just ramped the difficulty up, gave me 3 ships simultaneously, and that's just hard. But then it blew away my energy unit, and that was it. So not good. Right, so we were that's the wrong save. That's where we were. Let's go back and get the right save. There we go. So we are there on Galactic Chart 2, as we've just come back from. I don't think we'll go to that system again. Whether that was it's an anarchy system. I just no wonder that was pretty bad. So I think it's only right we do this. It's a tradition now. We should just the stream's almost over, so I don't think we're going to trigger the mission today, which is a bit of a shame. But at least we got the right on commander. You do have to take them out from distance, yeah. I know. Why is it in space games? You're overthinking it now, Gunblade lad. It's time to do my Thargoid run. We always do this. So let's go murder some Thargoids because we can. So I've got my log right. I need to pause the game, which is shift. Let's press F. That's the toggle. Start the game again. Press hyperspace. That automatically gives us a missed jump into Thargoid witch space or something. Let's do the Thargoid run. Oh, only 3. So hopefully now the Thargoids again have also got tougher. So as you can see, they are giving me a hard time too. Oh, the game is much harder now. Oof. Right, so I lost my docking computers there as a result of that fight, which isn't very nice. I don't think I'm going to save this game. Because I'm not going to make that money back. But anyway, let's just kill some Thargoids just because we can. So now your ship, as you'll notice, the game has increased the difficulty by making your ship much more vulnerable to damage than it was before. I think that's it. So I think I'm going to wipe these guys out. I'm not going to go on from here because it's cost me my docking computer. The mean. Anyway, there we go. I survived the Thargoid attack, so that's a good omen for next week. So there we go. Yeah, so that's it. Right. So anyway, I'm going to do a quick load back from where we were. So that's where we've got to. We are in Galactic Chart 2. We've been hyperspacing about for a bit, but we haven't triggered the mission, which is a bit frustrating. But I think all we've got to do is we've just got to continue. So we're competent. We've got the Galactic Hyperspace Drive. We're in Galaxy 2. We just need to wait and see when the hyperspace mission takes place. Maybe that's good. So maybe we'll get that next week because it'd be nice. We got the right on commander this week, which was nice. So that's in there. And I genuinely got it without dying, which is good. So that's the thing. Can you collect the Tharglets for money in this? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You spent too much time fighting rather than jumping, so maybe I should just spend a lot more time jumping. So it's distance. Okay, so how far have I got to get? I've come a fair old way because we came in up here. So maybe I've just got to keep jumping across the chart. So we'll concentrate on just flying around, I think, and then we'll see if we can get that supernova mission to generate, because it hasn't happened yet, which is just a thing. But there we go. Anyway, my friends, thank you very much for your company on my my 8-bit quest for glory. At least we got the right on commander. So hopefully next week we'll trigger this elusive supernova mission. I'm looking forward to seeing it now. So more time on the trampoline. Oh yeah. I think my trampolining days are over. I think we discussed this last week. Is that I wanted to be able to do the backflip thing. That's one thing I always wanted to do. I think I've left it too late. I'm going to be 50 this year, so I may have left it a little bit long. But there we go. Got to get those jumps done. Okay, so more jumps. We got our right on commander, so that's our sign off. Right on commanders. Very much. I will see. I'm back on Monday for my creative stream. Thursday's Elite Dangerous again, and so on and so forth. Okay. So right on, my friends, right on commanders. At least we got that. That was good. So hopefully next week we get to see the supernova. I'm looking forward to it. All the best. Take care, my friends. You look after yourselves. Have a great weekend. Take care now. Bye bye.